ready to fight for Israel, even though Israel is still in a trial for the accusation of genocide. And even if the leaders of Israel are under the threat of arrest warrant for also war crimes. So we see that the situation of Israel becomes every day more tricky to some extent. So I think this attack from the Houthis is extremely important for that point, because it sets the limit, not the limit, but it raises the level to which Israel has to expect a threat. And that, I think, is an important, is a very important issue. And I am a little bit worried to see that in the media, for instance, the Western media, in Europe at least, nobody talked really about this Houthi strike against Israel. The problem is that in the West, we tend to put the dust under the rug, so that you don't see the dust. And that's a little bit the problem. And we have done exactly the same thing with Ukraine. And now slowly we are waking up in Ukraine, waking up not yet in Israel, because nobody dares to say, it's forbidden almost to say that Israel is failing. Well, especially in France, for instance, some have tried to say so, and they were considered as making apology of terrorism. So we tend to ignore the reality, but the reality is the reality, and there is a point in which the reality will collide with false narrative. It still starts to do so, but at one point, if Israel is really threatened, then there will be a collision between the narrative and the reality. And I don't know how European countries will react to that. The US, probably they will try to, they have commitment with Israel, and they will probably try to commit troops. But again, I don't see anybody in the US, I mean, anybody on the military side, the Pentagon, for instance, I don't see any appetite for that. You have politicians with their usual rhetoric saying that they will support Israel and they're committed to support Israel, including with military force. But we don't see the same kind of enthusiasm on the military side. And the idea of supporting Israel through technical means is certainly here, and by using some anti-missile missiles or something like that, that's probably true, and probably with some airstrikes and things like this. Okay. But beyond that, I don't see any appetite to put boots on the ground. That was certainly not the case with the Gaza, even if some special forces apparently were committed, probably more to assess the situation, in fact, than for taking active part in the operations. But still, we don't see that the Americans are very enthusiastic to put boots on the ground, even for Israel. And I told you, I already told you that with my various contacts with various officers, U.S. officers, I saw none who were so enthusiastic about supporting Israel. First of all, in the US military, you still have this memory of the USS Liberty, this intelligence ship that was attacked by the Israeli Air Force in June 1967. And this attack killed several US sailors.